I'm Chris Kramer, President and CEO of Beyond Housing. I'd love to be seeing everybody in person for the 24/1 Community Conference. But to keep everybody safe and healthy, we're hosting the conference virtually. And right now, we're speaking to you ahead of time from the Two Hill Performing Arts Center on the campus of the University of Missouri St. Louis. And we're presenting the first ever Trailblazers Award to 5 special individuals. Before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about the history of the 24/1 community and its vision report. So back when the 24/1 community was formed, well over 10 years ago, residents and leaders came together and talked about the future they wanted to see for their neighborhoods. That became the 24/1 community vision. And it successfully guided the work for over 10 years. And it created the model that Beyond Housing still uses today called Ask, Align, and Act. We ask the community for priorities, and then we work together to align the resources and act to move forward toward them. In 2019, we started that process all over again to make sure our work was on track for the coming decade. Over the course of 2 years, over 1,500 residents and leaders filled out surveys, participated in focus groups, and sat down for interviews. When we compiled the results, here's what the community said is the vision for the next 10 years: to create neighborly communities, invested families, and successful businesses. Underneath that, there were 5 priority areas that they laid out: community unity, economic opportunity, neighborhood safety, community vibrancy, and youth achievement. In the past year, in spite of the pandemic, our community continues to make progress toward these priority areas. Here are just a handful of examples, and there's many more. The Viking Sports Athletic Club was formed to bring together local youth and public safety officers to play sports and build relationships. The Wellston Community Coalition was revived and mobilized residents to establish a plan for improving public safety through community-based interventions in the city of Wellston. We focused on public safety in other ways as well. We added more than 250 doorbell cameras, and they're currently encouraging each other to connect online through the Nextdoor app to keep everybody safe. We got a grant from the Environmental Protection Agency. We hired 4 young folks to canvass the community to share information about environmental health, particularly about the relationship between trees and asthma. The 24/1 Community Land Use and Economic Development Plan was created, which gives our municipal leaders valuable guidance for the future. It's a truly remarkable achievement to have 23 city governments come together like they did and create a plan. We're excited to see it all be put into action. We had a great turnout for 3 virtual town hall meetings about our local school district and really about all the problems and challenges that are in front of us. We heard the voices. Those voices of our municipal leaders were heard at the state level. And we hosted conferences like this one to engage residents on topics around education, entrepreneurship, and to address challenging topics like vacant buildings. Most of all, these conferences and forums give our community an ongoing opportunity to engage, share feedback, and celebrate progress. We'd like to thank the Deaconess Foundation for partnering with us to support this year's 24/1 Community Conference. So with that, let's move on to the new Trailblazer Awards, honoring outstanding contributions from people who are walking and living the 24/1 community vision. I'll turn it over to Cassandra Griffin to learn more about these awards.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're so proud to have you here. Thank you for attending today. Chris, thank you so much for the introduction. My name is Cassandra Griffin. I'm a Community Engagement Coordinator at Beyond Housing. And the people we're honoring today with the 24/1 Trailblazer Award were selected through a voting process, of course, by a wonderful committee comprised of 9 outstanding individuals. They're not only residents of the 24/1 community, but they are active and dynamic in their profession. They include an educator, an administrator, a police officer, a councilwoman, a mayor, and business professionals. To this committee, it was very important to highlight those who are making a difference, not by words, but by actions. I'll say that again. Not by words, but by actions. And of course, to develop outcomes that will empower the community. Each of these people that are receiving the Trailblazer Award have made a difference within the 24/1 community, within the 5 priority areas, as Chris has mentioned. They are consummate professionals who are walking in their purpose and sharing their gifts through commitment, service, and actions of excellence. Members of the 24-1 Community Committee will now introduce the awards and the recipients. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And now I'd like to introduce to you a phenomenal educator from Barack Obama Elementary, Ms. Altrice Timmons.
Good evening, everyone. Children under the age of 18 represent about a quarter of the population of the 24-1 community. And people like Mr. Duane Foster are essential for helping our youth achieve their fullest potential. Mr. Foster is the District Fine Arts Coordinator and heads the Normandy Fine Arts Department, which includes drama, dance, visual arts, orchestra, choir, and band. Students of all ages are drawn to him with his dynamic teaching style, his pleasant demeanor, and his passion for the arts. Mr. Foster is actually a former Normandy High School graduate, class of 1987, after earning degrees from Morehouse College and Northwestern University, as well as certification from the Alvin Ailey American Dance Center. Mr. Foster established a successful career in musical theater. His performance credits include everything from local shows right here in St. Louis and the Muni to regional and national appearances at venues such as Carnegie Hall. His exemplary reputation as a performer followed him right back here to St. Louis in 2006 when he returned to his alma mater to begin rebuilding his fine arts programs. The 24-1 community is grateful for Mr. Foster's dedication to academic excellence. We present this Trailblazer Award in honor of his commitment to tirelessly supporting, educating, and inspiring our young people through creative and innovative educational techniques. Thank you, Mr. Foster.
Oh, wow, thank you. Those of you who knew my mother, you knew that she would be here. Lost her in 2019, so I'm just happy to have my sister here, Connie Taylor, and my other sister through life, basically, Janelle James. I guess it was meant for me to wait until today between the ending of this particular school day and now to write this speech. Shattered, but I'm not broken. Bruised, but time will heal pretty much typifies where I am right now, how I'm feeling now. The challenges of reaching children who have been literally and figuratively distant from me for 18 months has been one of the biggest challenges in my life. And to be shifting out of the classroom into administration where I am experiencing the magnitude of the negative manifestations of 18 months of virtual learning. And let me be clear, negative manifestations from children as well as adults, professionals. One has to sit back and ponder, is it all worth it? Well, I know the saying, when I think back on the goodness of the Lord and all he's done for me. We know that one. But when I think back and reflect on all the joy and success that I've experienced with my students over the last 16 years of teaching, not only is it all worth it, but it gives me the fuel I need to move up a little higher. It is why I can boldly say that Normandy has its own Performing Arts Academy now, starting next week. But I also want to say this, because I want us to be very careful at how we frame our speech around Normandy, our rhetoric around Normandy, our little side conversations about Normandy and the happenings at Normandy. Because I want you all to really, really be honest with yourselves that if it's happening at Normandy, it's only because it's happening in your neighborhoods. Let's be clear about that. Let's be clear about that. the fights, the disagreements, the way they handle the fights, the way they learn, the way they respond to instruction, all starts before they come into the gates of Normandy. It's so easy for us to put all of that onto a building. Under construction, not under construction, it doesn't matter. It's what they are bringing. And in my 2 weeks of being an administrator, what I have experienced on the other side of that phone, or when the parents come in, we have a lot of work to do in our communities. And we're gonna all have to pull it up and really get on the battlefield and stop waiting for someone to solve it for us. Thank you.
And now we have Ms. Joyce McGrath.
Thank you, Ms. Timmons, and congratulations, Foster. Well deserved. This next award is in the economic opportunity category. Supporting economic development goes well beyond being a business booster. It involves everything from encouraging young people to pursue self-sufficiency, to showcasing local products and services. And I'm speaking of a young man by the name of Mr. Farrakhan Shegog, who exemplifies this multifaceted approach through his activism and innovation. Mr. Shegog is a workforce development specialist with the Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis. He is also president and CEO of the nonprofit Young Voices with Action, which strives to further develop the skills and talents of young people and prepare them for employment while fostering capability and leadership. So when I see this young man, he always makes me smile because he's just always so active in so many fronts. He's a strong community activist. He's a mentor to students within the St. Louis community. He's a creative innovator. He's a community coalition builder. And he's socially conscious and concerned about the future welfare of seniors. That's me. In his career, he's done so much, and he's even active in many local organizations to include the Eastern Development Corporation, the Urban League of Federation of Block Units, and the Wellston Community Coalition. I could go on, but this Economic Opportunity Award goes to Mr. Farrakhan Shegog, and because he is so busy, he is unable to be here today, so accepting on his behalf is Portia Anderson, Project Manager of Eastern Development. And I think some of the Young Voices with Action are in the audience as well. Give a shout out. So I'd like to present this to you on Mr. Shegog's behalf.
Wow, what can I say? First and foremost, to Beyond Housing and the 24-1 community, on behalf of Farrakhan Shegog, Young Voices with Action, Eastern Development Corporation, the Wellston Coalition, the Urban League, we thank you and the community here. When I think of Farrakhan and all of the work that he does, yes, what you described was all of that and more. But behind the scenes, I have never in my life working with him as the project manager of Eastern Development Corporation seen such a young, hard-working young man who is beloved by the community. I have not seen anyone like him that can come in and brighten up the day. He will open up the doors for you. I've seen him work from sun up to sundown. And the reason he couldn't be here today is because he just took 25 students to Tulsa, Oklahoma to show them the brilliancy of the Black community. When we talk about economic development, when we talk about the growth of the community, what Farrakhan exemplifies, not in word but in action, every day in, day out, tirelessly. And he has a team of willing people of all ages, from the young, these two right down here. You know, he commands and he supports and he empowers and he uplifts. And I have just had the honor and the privilege of seeing him in so many different hats. But the way that this young man shows up, be very proud of this young man and the work that he is just starting to do in this community. As I think about Farrakhan, I think back to our community leaders, our Dr. Martin Luther Kings and, you know, our Malcolm X's. And Farrakhan is always the one to put himself behind the scenes. But think of all of the people who it took, the community members, the churches, the neighborhood, all of that. In every area of what Farrakhan is doing, he brings it all together so effortlessly. So I have never, and it's such a privilege to work with someone who is just an extraordinary human being. So thank you, thank you, thank you for this amazing opportunity. I know that he is going to be so excited. But as he would say it in his words, hard hats on. We're going to continue to do this work. So thank you.
And now I'd like to bring up our next presenter from our committee, Ms. Teresa Pearson.
Hello. Okay, so I'm going to present our award for community unity. This is for Ms. Councilwoman Rita Days. As a public servant, she has been breaking grounds for decades. In 1993, she became the first Black woman from St. Louis County to be elected to the Missouri State Legislature. In 2002, she was elected to the State Senate, becoming the first Black senator from St. Louis County. Throughout her career, Councilwoman Days brought her dedication for improving the lives of her fellow St. Louisans to many boards and commissions, from Normandy School Board, the Missouri Housing Development Commission, Matthew Dickey's Boys and Girls Club, the Black Leadership Roundtable, the Juvenile Justice Advisory Board, the Division of Youth Services Advisory Board, and more. So we could just call her St. Louis County Superwoman. In 2011, she was appointed as the Director of Elections for St. Louis County, and she was responsible for all of the elections within the jurisdiction for 4 years. She was elected to represent the County District 1 of St. Louis County in 2019, and she became the council chair earlier this year. Ms. Days is a hands-on elected leader with those constitutes find her to be approachable, hardworking, smart, responsive. Again, like I said, St. Louis County Superwoman. In those qualities and those long-time public service, Ms. Days, we present you with the Trailblazer Award.
Thank you so much. I first of all want to thank the staff and the members of 24-1. I want to thank the staff. I want to also thank the committee for thinking that I am worthy of being a trailblazer. It is an humbling experience, and I am honored to be another public servant serving you, the citizens of the 24-1 community. Public service is something that you don't, you have to kind of get it. It just doesn't fall out of your arms. It's something that you have to really work very, very hard for. And you have to be committed to people who may not think like you do, but they deserve the recognition and they deserve all that you have to give, even if they don't give it back to you. As long as you figure that you can get things and get things done, and you're not worried about who gets the credit for it, you know, it goes a very, very long way in making sure that your community is strong and your community is healthy. That's one thing I have worked on all of the time that I've been in St. Louis since 1974. I've been living in the community since 1974, and I want you to know that this is a community that I love, and I will remain here until they take me out on a cart somewhere. I won't even go to an old folks' home. They're going to have to bring it to me. So I want to congratulate the other awardees here today. This is an outstanding honor, and I'll tell you, I just can't tell you enough how important it is for us to leave footprints for those who are coming behind us, particularly the young people. Some of them think they know, they don't necessarily know. You want to try to help them to not make the same kinds of mistakes that you have made and carry on to do this work. It is an humbling experience and honor, and I do appreciate it so very, very much. So thank you all so much.
Our next presenter is Officer Corey Hawkinsburg.
Good afternoon, everybody. All right. Chief John Buchanan has the challenging, rewarding, heartbreaking, and uplifting job of leading the North County Police Cooperative, a policing alternative that serves 8 municipalities in the North County area. Since taking the helm 3 years ago as chief in September of 2018, he demonstrated dedicated leadership and became known for building relationships within the community. Residents view him as a strong partner rather than an enforcer. In keeping with the cooperative's motto, community first, he advocates for youth programs and neighborhood partnerships, and he expects the cooperative's 60 officers to join him in taking part in outreach activities. Research demonstrates that the community and law enforcement both play a critical role in preventing and reducing crime. Chief Buchanan is aware that the crime in some parts of the 24-1 community is nearly 2 or 3 times the national average, and that some residents are discouraged from talking to or cooperating with the police. Yet, that sobering knowledge does not sway his belief in the benefits of programs like the Neighborhood Watch, Operation Excel basketball program, or his dedication to the mission of public safety. On behalf of all the residents of the 24-1 community, we present him with this Trailblazer Award.
Wow, it's so hard to follow all these good people. So bear with me, please. I'm blessed to have Mayor McGee and Celeste McGee, his wife, here with me. I'm blessed to have my son here as well. And probably about 6 weeks ago, my son had a son. So I am a grandfather now. So I have a couple of honors. I get an award today, and I have a grandson. I am extremely honored to have receiving such an important award, the 24-1 Community Trailblazer Award. I am so grateful to be being recognized for this, but it's really not really about me. I have a lot of people in my life and in my job that helps me be successful. First, my boss. I have a great boss, Mayor James W. McGee. He's easy to work for. He's been a police officer in the past, so he understands what we do on a day-to-day basis. I have an outstanding board at Veneta Park. I mean, whatever we ask for, they support us. Give us the equipment we need to do our job. And even more so, I have officers in the community that loves working with the people. So that makes my job a lot easier and also make us more successful. And we have officers such as Officer Corey Hawkinsburg, our community engagement officer, that do the work every day. For helping me reach a point where I can proudly hold up this award as a mark of achievement for our police department, not me, but our police department. I also promise one thing, that we will always work hard for the communities we serve. And I gotta tell you, thank you one more time for this honor. Thank you.
And now introduce Miss Ava Williams.
Thank you, Officer Byrd. Hello, everybody. Well, it's difficult to narrow down Ms. Sheila Williams' contribution to our community. So this Trailblazer Award honors her in multiple categories. The most obvious is youth achievement. Ms. Williams spent more than 30 years as a teacher, reading and math specialist, and a program administrator in St. Louis Public Schools. Her deep knowledge within the field of education and her skills in getting things done with both diplomacy and humor has led to several appointments to professional and nonprofit boards. In 2009, Ms. Williams was elected to the Normandy School District Board of Education. Her leadership continued with the Normandy School Collaborative when it was formed in 2014. She was appointed to its Joint Executive Governor Board and is currently the board's vice president. In addition to her contribution to our young people, Ms. Williams has been a dynamic pillar within the 24-1 community. Her unique ability to create, implement systems, extend to her involvement at both local and national levels with organizations such as Kiwanis Club of Normandy 24-1, the Midwest Bank Center Community Council, the Normandy School District Scholarship Foundation, and the Efficacy Institute. It is our great pleasure, and I am so proud to present this Trailblazer Award for her outstanding legacy in education, economic development, and community unity to my Kiwanian sister, Ms. Sheila Williams.
Now, listen, you guys, if you ever want somebody to really rally the troops, call Avis. I mean, she's got a big heart and a willingness to serve that has just been a real boost for the Kiwanis Club. Thank you, Avis. This is really a privilege and an honor, of course, to receive this award. It is particularly moving for me because residents of the 24-1 communities selected me. Couldn't be a greater honor, okay? When I think about 24-1, 24 communities, one goal, one vision, so forth, I'm reminded of the principle of unity that we celebrate during Kwanzaa. Unity is symbolized by a bundle of sticks. You take one of those sticks out and you can snap it, right? But when you put them in a bundle, they're almost unbreakable. The Beyond Housing Ask, Align and Act approach helped us form a bundle of communities called 24-1. That unified effort has proven to be an exemplary model of community development. It's been recognized all across the country, including by the White House. But we can't rest. Forces are out there that could be threatened by that unity, the strength of that unity. Okay? What we've got to do then is to sustain our energy and our commitment. Energy and commitment. Okay? To our being the ones to program our own present and our own future through the power of unity. I appreciate this. Thank you very much. I will treasure it. Thank you.
And now, we will have our closing remarks by Stephanie Cole.
Hi, everybody. Before we close, first of all, that was really inspiring. So happy to hear about all these trailblazers, and I really leaving here feeling inspired. Before we close the ceremony, we do want to recognize a few more people, and that is the 24-1 Community Advisory Committee, who are all sitting right here to my right. And we would ask, we actually have some certificates of appreciation that we would like to present to each of you. So when you hear your name, if you could please come up. And first we have Officer Corey Hawkinsbird. Second, Councilwoman Yolanda Campbell. Unfortunately, Mayor Tiffany Graham was not able to make it today, but we really recognize and appreciate her for her contributions to this as well. Next, Alderperson Dion Jones. Oh, and she's also not here today. Miss Joyce McCrath. Alderperson Sharon Millette. He had a longer commute. Miss Teresa Pearson. Miss Altrice Timmons. And finally, we have Miss Avis Williams. And I have one final award, and this is actually our final certificate of appreciation, and this is for Miss Cassandra Griffin. This is actually a surprise. Cassandra has done so much work for the community conference as well as today's Trailblazers Award, so we really appreciate all of her commitment to this community. So let's give another hand for the Community Conference Committee as well as all our Trailblazers today. So this concludes the official Trailblazer Award ceremony today. We ask that because we have another event coming up, the vacant house next door, you are welcome to stay here for that event. But if not, if you could make it to the lobby, and feel free to continue to network and celebrate there. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming.